All right, everyone. I think we're live. Woo! Yay! Hello, hello. Happy Saturday, September 11th. What are we? 9/11. Ooh, 9/11/21. Didn't even recognize that energy. So that's an interesting comment. Hi, everybody. Is Don't dwell on that idea of what happened on 9/11. Um, because if you dwell on low energies, that's what you carry. And if you keep feeding a person, a place, an event, a thought, a relationship, a belief with low energies like fear, guilt, blame, victimhood, shame, depression, craving, anger, all these states, they're just a state of energy. So you can rise out of them. But most people live in them and feel controlled by them and feel pulled to them. And so the idea of continuously saying, never forget, never forget, never forget this terrible thing. We want to grow from it. We don't want to go back and repeat the pattern because we forgot. But remembering pain and blame and anger is not the way to heal. And it certainly isn't the way to rise up from where you are to higher states to be able to begin to live the life you really want. We all want to create a reality of beauty and harmony and peace and happiness where we can do what we love and not worry about money, and allow ourselves to be who we are and develop that and live in harmony with all of this amazing reality on many levels. So we're a very tiny part of all that's true, all that's real. The physical reality is minuscule compared to the layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of emotional fields and mental fields, thoughts and beliefs and energies, all the way to the infinite field, which is what we're all made out of. So when instead we say today is going to be a day of hope, I was thinking that's a nice number, 9/11/21. Seemed like a nice number. What is that number? That's a 10, right? 11. Wow, 21 and 11, 30, 32. Ooh, that was one of my numbers. I played a lot of sports as a high school and college. How interesting. So bring what is the energy you would like to feel or you would like to send to that moment in time, to that particular timeline or reality, and do the same thing with every part of our lives, right? Decide now that we are the creators. So it is so, 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 so fun to get to work with these amazing people. I see so many of them here. Hi, Julie Love. And Stacy Finnegan. Hi, sweetie. We just did another session. And hi, Pat and Larry and Gaze and Zen. Hi, honey. Oh, big hugs. And Josie and Autumn. Oh, hi, Autumn. Haven't seen you in a while. Been so busy with the class. Hi, Sybil. Sybil's in our class too. And so all of the people I've gotten to work with privately or in classes or at retreats over the years, every one of those a blessed interaction, right? I really see it as a sacred space because out of everything and everyone in the world, we have connected. So you can think about this as any relationship that you have. Intersections of energy. You're going this way, you intersect with somebody, maybe it's for a long time, maybe it's just for a second, right? And maybe you do this. But it's an intersection. So it's just an opportunity, it's a moment. And it's wow, out of everything, everywhere, us two consciousnesses have decided to intersect. So there's something amazing, and it always goes both ways, right? We both gain something, we both realize something, we learn something. Maybe somebody, pisses you off or upsets you or feels like they hurt you or betrayed you, and you found it or are still finding it difficult to not think in a loop in your head, as one of my clients said the other day. It's just she said, since we've been working together, it's like I feel like I'm meeting myself for the first time. I'm like, in this session we had, she was actually excavated. So we bury ourselves energetically underneath fears and blame, and we attach ourselves energetically to certain beliefs and thoughts and memories that we won't let go of, right? When we want somebody to have behaved differently, when we want someone to say their story, when we're waiting for somebody to agree with us, when we have any reason that we are attached to, why don't they, or why can't they, or when will I, and any of those beliefs we have that we're not good enough, and they're very deep, so we keep uncovering more of them. And that's the point. We're just here to excavate ourselves, right, out of all of that. And the energies are so fast and beautiful and blessed right now. And she was saying, she goes, I could see where I wanted to go, but I realize now that energetically she's been through these journeys and these quests and these activations and these cleanses and these communications and these realizations. So I guess the weird thing about what I do and what we're going to do today in the readings is, Akasha here, hi, Nan Akasha, is that I've tuned myself through all the pain and loss, lots of it, and self-judgment and lack of worth and belief in lack and punishing myself and not taking care of my body and then feeling guilty about it, and just like all these layers of life, wanting to have a baby for 8 years, trying, getting pregnant, and then my daughter died, adopting my twins that are 24 now, going through an epic divorce after 25 years, 3 years. And it just was like, I'm blessing and cleansing and giving and asking, and just like, when will this end? I'll give anything for this just to be over, and feeling like I was going down a slippery slope. And I'm like, I know all this stuff, and I'm aware, and I'm doing all my work, and yet it's still just falling apart. I had businesses, lots of businesses. My first was a fashion design business. It was exploded, did really, really well for a few years. And the end of the 80s came and the whole economy crashed and nobody paid me. And I had to go out of business. And I was so shocked and devastated. Everything I believed and worked hard for, and all those good hard work beliefs and all that stuff. And I thought it was just the worst thing that could ever happen. And I thought it was the end of the world. And all of these things now, like you are realizing, right, too, is if I look now at them from a different perspective, not inside of the experience, I realized something like that had to happen to redirect me, because I was committed to being the perfect daughter, or to, not believing myself, or thinking I had to work really hard, or I would be good enough once I achieved all this money or this status or whatever it is. So we're driven by these outer goals, and what we're seeing right now is a massive breakdown, a massive metamorphosis. So this one client, I was talking to this yesterday, it was so much fun because over the summer she traveled and we were doing these sessions together. So she's on this quest, and watching things happen and knowing they're going to happen and preparing her as best as I can energetically. Okay, you're going to want to make sure you're in the flow because things are not going to go as planned. And she got to intersect and see every time she would get mad or frustrated, she would suck the joy and life out of the moment because they missed a bus or a plane was delayed or something. I helped her see that if she stayed in the moment, instead of going, oh, I planned this, I need to be perfect, whatever, all these things that we do to ourselves, she ended up with magical experiences. Oh, okay, well, I guess acceptance. I guess we're not meant to go there right now, And she's slowly but slowly, seeing that. And then coming home and having a month of rest and being in the intuition class and doing things to expand her ability to receive and trust the communication that's all around us, just everywhere, right, guys? It's so fun to see you guys do your stuff in the class. Woo! And so when she said, it's so weird because I'm starting to see who I was and how this energy was attached, and that's not me anymore. I don't need that. She got separation, right? She got to see and perceive a part of her that thought was really heavy and was holding her down and she couldn't get past, and she had to do, and all these things we do. And it was out here now, and she was able to consciously make a choice. Oh, okay, no, not that anymore, and choose something new. Meeting yourself, realizing, have I ever let myself be free? Free to think what I want, say what I want, do what I want, wear what I want, believe I can do what I love, follow my heart and not listen to everyone else, and do it in happiness and flow and pleasantness, not like fighting everybody. At certain points, you need to fight somebody or yourself because you need to get up out of those lower states. No. So for me, my journey is a big part of it is teaching, is sharing, and taking experiences that are really abstract, right? Energy experiences, sensory experiences. This is what we do. And when we do that, we start to open up to a world that's so rich and so full that suddenly it becomes more fun to be in the moment. You know, there's times when you're planning or making reservations for 3 weeks in advance. That's okay. But when you're in the moment and you're going, oh, wonder what this is all about. I wonder why we missed that plane. I wonder why that job didn't work out the way I wanted. I wonder why that relationship ended that way and I still have pain that I can't get rid of. I wonder why I feel desperate, alone at the end of my rope. So the first reading today is going to be for Marnie, and I've known Marnie a long time, bless her heart, and she sent in an email because she couldn't be here. And what's the most important thing right now is acknowledging and accepting that we are in a mass, and massive, okay, breakdown. And that breakdown is the metamorphosis. It has to happen to reform into who we are ready to become. We don't have a clue how unbelievable it is until we first free ourselves from these shackles of fears, guilt, shame, depression, blame, craving, the desire disappointment loop. Oh, I have to have this, but I can't have it, or it'll never work, or I've had it and I lost it, and over and over and over. So in this process, be in the beautiful flow. Allow yourself, as you awaken, as you break down, because as you break down, you're going to start to hear different, see different, feel different. Your senses are going to come alive and awaken. And that's what I want most for you, is to start to use your own senses. And and I had a unicorn free something for me yesterday. I just realized that. So communication's coming all the time. And when we're talking about intuitive or energy work or light body work, I like to call it, because we're layers and layers of bodies, and they're all made of light, conscious light. And so we awaken to higher levels where we can see and perceive things we couldn't before. So we know that bugs and animals can see and hear things we can't. Our physical body just can't. However, there's a thing called an overlay. And an overlay is when somebody says, oh, I see, like I'm good. I primarily say I see, but I hear and I see and I sense and I know, and it's just a combination of being in a flow of receiving something that starts to take over your senses, and you start paying attention and reporting. You're kind of a reporter, and you can do this for yourself when you are doing your own readings, which means you're tuning into your higher self. You're tuning into what's optimal for you at this time, always and only, please. And you're being a clear and open channel, and you're sincerely asking for guidance that's optimal for you at this time. And when you receive it, you go, oh, okay, I'm going to do something with this. So a lot of the things are going to come through very pictorially, very story-like sometimes. Sometimes it's a story that unfolds. Sometimes it's a space. Sometimes it's a cleanse. And sometimes I see parts of your body with shapes. And what you see, so, you know, you're intuitive. whether you believe it or not, trust yourself or not. That's what's fun about the Intuition Awakening and the classes and the practice and play and everything that we're doing. And you can join up until the 16th, so you have a little bit more time to join for this year, because we're going to practice all through the end of the year. And but you're intuitive, and if you start to pay attention and listen a little deeper, and don't try to analyze what you're receiving. Oh, I think I'm seeing this. I think I'm perceiving that. We have an amazing woman in the class who is so crazy intuitive, and yet she doesn't think she is, because she wants to see things the way she thinks other people see things. And what happens is that now she's blocking all this other, and yet when she's not trying to do a reading, she's over here in flow. Images and beings are coming to her through the most amazing ways. It's just mind-boggling. Yet when she gets into a situation of like, I want to hear the message, I want to see, she's expecting it and wanting it to be this way, like those people do it. What you do then is you take this wide open way that you could receive a communication, a guidance, an information, a solution, an inspiration, money, energy, whatever it is that's coming and helping you. Because it's all around you. You live in a benevolent, beautiful, and amazing universe, and multiverse, and you're supported and you're loved, and there just isn't any way that you don't have whatever you need. So it's just what you've been taught, and when we're looking at it, it has to happen this way. I'm not willing to do this or this. You need to look at anything you're not willing to do. No, it has to be this way. You have to look at, if you're saying, well, I want it like that, and you're comparing yourself, because now you're saying, oh, I was designed for this, but I want to be that. Well, a coconut tree is not going to turn into an oak tree anyway, no matter how hard it thinks about it ever, but it knows really well how to be a coconut tree. And so when you surrender and say, I'm designed that way too, how do I receive information? Where am I already receiving information? What am I drawn to? What gives me delight? Why does it give me delight? What drags me down? Why does it drag me down? Oh, and just watch how your energy goes up and down. And when you're in a higher state, get the scale at shop.nanakasha.com. It's free. When you're in a different state, if you just go towards acceptance, then you're going to receive more guidance. And the fun part is when you take your power back and decide, oh, okay, I'm not going to be attached to all that. I'm willing to see where I'm attached. I'm willing to know where I've blocked myself. I'm willing to see more of the real me versus what I thought I had to be. And spending, she was saying, I spent so much time trying to be the perfect daughter and the perfect parent and the perfect this and the perfect that and make everything. And there was so much focus on that. There was nothing left for the real me. And so you layer away the patterns you've been living inside of. That's what has to happen first. But a lot of people feel like they're doing it wrong, or they're frustrated because they want the magical experience every minute of every day. And the experience, the communication, the connection with source and all that is, and the plants and the earth and all the different things that around you that maybe you feel kinship with, they're communicating to you all the time. So you tune into their station, right? Maybe there's nothing really except just acknowledging good morning. Your life is going to be so rich, but when you decide to be you, and please accept when things are falling apart, or if you don't know, this is a great place to be. It means potentiality, and that's what we are. We're pure potentiality. So let's go ahead and dive in now. We'll connect together. So when I share things like that, it's to inspire you to realize that we're all in it together. We're all going through this massive metamorphosis. There isn't anybody that's better than you right now. There isn't anybody that's ahead of you. There can be people that you enjoy, but you don't have to put them so far above you. You can put them in a position of a guide, a wise guide, right? That's there to help you along your way. But you receive and you move forward. You don't stay around and compare, because it's only one part of your journey. So take a deep breath in Now put your hands together in front of your heart. Close your eyes. I am that I am, EA, Escher, EA. Say this out loud or in your heart. I am that I am, and I am here. Now, a clear and open channel to my highest good. I'm open and receptive to that which is optimal for me at this time. I'm ready and willing to release and reveal all that holds me from aligning and rising to my highest frequency, my clearest connection to my highest good, my highest purpose, my higher selves, and my divine design. Thank you, thank you. Now open your hands up, turn them so that the palms face, the fingers face opposite directions, and just pull your hands apart as if you're creating. I want you to feel your palms. Feel your palms. Feel the energy, all of your focus just lightly on both palms, and very slowly pull your hands apart like you are pulling open some light. What's in there? Feel it. Is it pulsing? Is it warm? Warm or hot? Does it have a color? Does it look like a jellyfish? A ball? And now move your hands around, holding this about the size of a ball, a volleyball, or basketball. And just feel through your senses all of the edges, like you're running your hands over this sphere of light that you've manifested through your palm. Just allow yourself to feel it all around it. And when you're ready, relax and put your arms down. Keep your eyes shut and look into this sphere of light you've manifested here in front of you. So today we've manifested, I've guided you to manifest through your palm portals, your hands. These are energy centers, chakras that connect to anything, any place, any time, the infinite field. And we aligned you with your highest good and draw in energy for you that's optimal for you today. So take a moment and say, I accept and awaken my 360 senses. If you feel any doubts come up, or thoughts, or feelings, or cringes, or restrictions, or anything that says no, you can't, you won't, you don't, accept it. Say, oh, hi, come on up. And send it into the ball of light. I have a special place for you to go. Send the doubts in there. Send the fears in there. Good. Now declare to yourself that I am ready and willing to be an excellent receiver. And I'm ready to receive what's optimal for me today. Believe and trust that I received it and allow it to anchor, integrate, and unfold in its perfect time. So now relaxed here, you're welcome to keep your eyes closed and be an intuitive receiver to whatever's coming to you as well. All right. So I'm going to tune in to Marnie. And you can use this sphere of light in front of you. You can look into it and watch. Things might appear. It might send you energy. It might take energy from you that you don't need anymore. It might expand around you or enter your heart. This is a sphere of light that's created by you and for you for your highest good. So it will contain whatever energies are optimal for you. You may or may not see or feel things happen with it, and that's perfect. Whatever way it is interacting or receiving is perfect. It's optimal in the moment. So surrender to the optimal, be in the moment. And now acknowledge this sacred healing chamber. And we enter in reverence, clarity, readiness, willingness, presence, and love. We give great thanks for the Light Body Healing Council and to all the guides and angels that are here today. That it is optimal for these readings and this awakening. Give thanks for this beautiful sphere of light that has come to each of us in our own way, in its own flavor, to serve us, guide us, and gift us. I accept and receive gratitude. I accept and receive gratitude. Accept and gratitude. So I'm connected to Marnie, and Marnie has asked for assistance and guidance. And she feels at the end of a rope. Feels as if everything is falling apart. She feels as if she doesn't know where to go. And that helpless, hopeless feeling that is very common right now is part of our change, part of our deconstruction. Again, when we accept it, it can speak to us. We can understand what to do instead of resist it, judge it, fear it. So Marnie, I immediately was seeing a forest and a hill, a cliff, a very high hill that goes up. It's jagged around it. The trees are very dense, but this part, there's a lot of dirt that's fallen away. There's a few remaining cement structures sticking out like it used to be a tower or something. And you're standing on one of them partway up. Things are crumbling around you. The opening in the forest that you started to walk up, it just continues to crumble. It's not going like an avalanche. It's coming down, sometimes a little water, sometimes dirt. And you're just standing, you're on the left, standing on what looks like a concrete, ornate kind of concrete structure that probably held up a bridge or a tower. It feels more like a stairwell type of thing. And you're just hanging on. You're just hanging on. There's nothing you can do but hang on. You could just hanging on and gripping this structure. It feels secure, so you don't feel right now you're going to fall, but you have no idea how to get to the top. And you're just watching things crumble and then hiding, putting your head down and just sort of protecting yourself. And then you look up and you look around and there's worry and fear and sadness in your eyes, and there's tears welling up, and your whole being is in this moment with you, is in this fear, hanging on, this sense of, well, deconstruction, but not accepting in the flow, like hanging on. And you've let go of hanging on and you've moved and climbed up and trusted, okay, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try to climb to the top. And a few times, and then things fall apart and you end up clinging to the side. So this is like the third time you sort of feel like I've done this before and I keep working on myself. I keep expanding and doing things, and then here I am again. But you're way up here. You're 3/4 of the way to the top. However, what I'm seeing and what's lighting up is this is energetically explaining your emotional state, your mental state, your physical state, to all of the parts of you, the energetic frequency that you are in. There's attachment to some deep emotional issues of self-acceptance. And this is one of those moments. This is in the hero's journey. This is the bottom of the circle. This is when you get down, you leave and you go and you try, and then you get to the point where you just give up or you die physically, emotionally, or mentally. And there's a time when you just don't care. You feel like it's hopeless. You feel like it. And then you get up and you move forward again. And you think, oh, this is it. Da, da, da. But if you notice watching a movie or a book, that's not it. There's always another level of coming out of that depth, that abyss, that end of something, of who we were, what we did, how we saw ourselves. And there's another level of us that rises up and says, no, you can't, you're not good enough. And it feels like there's this booming voice above you that is at the top of the cliff and pushing the dirt over and booming the ground and making things shake, and sort of a booming voice. And this is you. This is this inner you, and it's doing its last hurrah. It's coming up and rising up to have its last say. No, you will not change. No, you will not love yourself. No, you will not. I will not allow it. I am in charge. You put me in charge. I am the one. I will darken the skies. I will bring down the earth. I will do what's necessary to keep you there. And here is where the magic begins. Because Marnie, you already know how magical you are, and you already have experience of letting go and flowing and trusting and abundance and healing and awareness. And yet this barrier has been here. You've never gone beyond that level. And that's what's here for you right now. And it's not by going the way you think you need to go. It's not by paying attention to the booming voice up above and the storm coming down and the breaking. It's not looking for a way to get up or thinking that you made a mistake. It's not holding on for dear life. It's sitting up and looking somewhere different. And in this energy, they're showing the forest is going up a very steep hill, yes, but it's grass and trees and grass and trees. It's very soothing and smooth and bright and even and clear. It's not even a lot of brush on the bottom. So if you, instead of continued trying to go up the path you're on, you stepped over into the forest, it's not that far. It's going to require you to stretch. You're going to have to stretch. You're going to have to move in a different direction. You've been doing this. You've got to do this. You've been doing this, and you've got to do this inside. When you reach that, you will get onto this solid ground, and you're going to be walking on this healing energy, and everything is going to be there to surround you and support you. And by the time you emerge to the top of this particular hill, you will have been healing and preparing to get ready, because it's time to end that particular battle, that particular story. It's like being stuck in a movie at this point in the movie and never getting out, and it not lasting 15 minutes, of the movie, or a half an hour of the movie, or whatever. That part would, and then, the heroine would go on to the next thing and the next thing, and then have this outcome. And the outcome isn't important. It's you seeing differently. It's you trusting yourself and turning and looking and opening to the other directions and possibilities of what is already here for you. It's there, step, sidestep. Beautiful. So if anyone else saw anything for Marnie, you're free to add it to the chat window. This is one of the things that we do in the Intuition Awakening class, is other people receive things too. And they're activating, clearing, and connecting, and practicing as well. So there's a lot of support and a lot of camaraderie, right, that we are, because we all receive something different. You could get a reading from 10 people in a room, and they're all going to see that maybe they all say something around the same topic or similar, but it's all going to come through differently because everybody's unique. The channel is unique. Right now I see things and I describe them, and while I'm feeling things, and then it opens up into the deeper meaning. Okay, thank you. Mm-hmm. All right, Pat Siebert. Hi, Pat. Hi, Emily. Nice to see you here. Hi, Sitara. And Midnight. Oh, thank you. I had one. Pat said she loves my coffee cups. I had this Mayan friend, and her little girl and I both love unicorns. So we give gifts back and forth. And I have several different ones. They say different things. And I broke one yesterday. And it was really weird. It just dropped. It was like I wasn't holding it anymore. There was suddenly nothing in my hand. I could feel nothing in my hand. I erased the memory, erased that I was even holding something. So I just opened my hand. I thought, why am I doing that? I'm not holding anything. And smash. And oh my goodness, did it smash in a million pieces. And I usually would get sad about that. However, I learned from some shaman that this is obsidian, and it's an incredible protector, healer, pulls dark energies out, shows you clarity in dark situations, dark fears, and all that. And I had a beautiful one shatter, a break, and I was so sad. And then I had another one break. I had different kinds of jewelry or stones, and I had like 3 of them break. And the shaman was telling me, he said, they are done with their work with you. Boom. Okay. He teasingly said, you broke it, you overwhelmed it. But it's like, no, it absorbed enough energy. It's done whatever it needed to do with you. So I gifted it into the sea or the earth after that. So I thought, well, maybe my little unicorn friend came and did the work with me and then left. And that energy, man, when something breaks, that's like kind of what we're going through. You are in a form that was in a form of a mug. Energy was held into that form, and it took a lot of energy to make that cup stay like this. And when it broke, it released all that energy, and it was loud, so it came out as sound, and it came out as force. It was in like 3 different rooms. It shattered really far. And so that's kind of when you let go of something that you've been holding on to for a long time, you've been being for a long time. It might break down a little softer, it might explode, but that energy in that form no longer going to exist. It's going to release its power. And think about that, how much power you reclaim when you free yourself from a particular thing you're trying to be. All right, Pat, let me just see. We can choose for the breakdown to be the breakthrough. It is. As you break down, you can break open and break through, Julie said. Yep, Julie knows. That's one of my favorite things to say is a breakdown is the same as a breakthrough. And a problem is the portal for the solution. The new wonderful thing here. So, okay. Much rather focus on what we can do to grow and develop there. Okay, Pat. So I scrolled back. I don't see anything particular you're asking. So one of the things, just releasing that was wonderful, creating that sphere of light with our palms. So play with that, and at the end we'll bring it gratitude and see what it wants to do going forward. You can repeat that though. So, replay this. All right, Pat, for you, immediately started seeing a lot of fuchsia, really intense pink, red, fuchsia, even more intense than this, everywhere. And this flow, like going back and forth, almost like gel. It was so thick with the flow moving. There's an Egyptian eye, the all-seeing eye. It's the right eye. The right eye of Horus. There's a pyramid around you. Everything looks kind of technicolor. There's the Sphinx. Oh, what have you got going on here? There's like it's like seeing these things moving around them from a drone or something, but the color around the structures is it's like multicolored, not like a rainbow this way, like in rays or stripes of different colors, and sometimes they're this way and sometimes they're vertical or horizontal, and it was just like color, color, color. So they're focusing on the Sphinx now. It's very important that we're looking at the Sphinx from above. And again, all the energy around the Sphinx, we're just seeing the outline of the Sphinx, and the energy around it is just bright and technicolor and pulsing and vibrating and moving in many, 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 many different colors. And they're organized colors. They're like somebody drew little scale, rectangles, and they're all colored in different. And sometimes the rectangles are going one way or the other way, but and then they're pulsing. There's a pulsing coming. It's like something is awakening under the Sphinx or within the Sphinx. And this is for you about your heart, your lion heart, your um, eternal heart, and your wisdom. Um, this is about accessing your wisdom. It's time for you to access your wisdom. It's time for you to uh, connect with ancient wisdom. You're definitely connected to Egypt and to some kind of a pulse. There's a pulse. It's about this boom, boom, boom. Um, okay, okay. So you're meant to lay down. So if you were going to meditate type of thing, or when you're going to sleep, you're meant to lay down and begin to tune into the Sphinx and to become that, in the sense that now you're in the center and all of this light rays are pulsing out around you. I'm now seeing you in it. I'm now looking at from your head as if I'm looking into a coffin, but it's not a coffin, and into, like, if you were laying down, I can see the silhouette of you laying here, and this is that they're pulsing. You're laying very peaceful. The hands are crossed on the heart. Uh, there's something you're holding. I don't know what it is. So you're meant to sit down, lay down and do this. I said if you can do this 3 times a day, it would be optimal. I feel like it's 3 days that I'm not really getting any more confirmation on that. It feels like for a few days. So is uh, this is like instructions, because this is happening whether you are aware of it or not, and it's important for you to allow it to happen in the easiest way. So if you are feeling in any way odd, off, different, tired, lightheaded, queasy, whatever, remember there's light body sickness or ascension symptoms, that everybody's experiencing some of these things. Sometimes they're reverse of things you've had in your life. If you've had a lot of allergies or something, sometimes they come out in reverse. But it's a lot of expanding of the head, the brain, headaches, and things around the jaw and the base of the skull, and nausea and whatever. So this is like a very powerful transformative process that is happening for you. It's going to be happening for you through the equinox. The equinox is your most important day. That's in a little over a week and a half, the 22nd, but you can do energy work for the equinox from the 20th through the 23rd and have very powerful effects. It's also the full moon on the 20th, I believe. And so that's a very important day. You need to do this on that day. It's important for you to do it now until then, because there's a lot of work to be done. you've done enough by thinking, wanting, striving. Now it's like you have to complete the project and hand it over. It's like you're holding a big tray full of stuff you've been working on for a long time, like all the things in your life and thoughts and experiences and things you've gotten right and not gotten right and wonder about and trying to think of everything. You just had to, it's like bing, the game show buzzer went off. You have to put everything on the tray and you have to hand it. And then you're going to turn around and you need to be recalibrated and reconnected. So you're going to be reconnected to a very powerful energy. You've got two energies that can help you. One is Sekhmet, who is an Egyptian goddess who has a lion head and a woman's body usually, but very powerful, very important, wonderful guide who also has the aspect of Bastet, which is the cat, the house cat, the domesticated cat, the docile, loving cat. And the qualities that Sekhmet hold are really fierce power to stand in your own truth and your own power. Strength, knowing you have strength when you need it. Ripping open, if needed, anything that's still hanging on, and detaching completely so that you can be in the moment, master being here now. And Bastet will come through. She's the other aspect of Sekhmet as a healer. She is a healer, and cats are healers, but you don't have to have a physical cat to tune into or to align with some of these cat spirit guides. So the lion has been very big lately, big, for a lot of clients. Yesterday, the twice this week at least, and different ways. Yours is in this Sphinx-like, vast-like aspect, and the Sphinx is about mysteries. It's about encodements that are within the body and the land that are programmed to come alive at different times. And now is that time for you and for the Sphinx. So relating to it, looking at it, tuning into it, traveling to it, calling to it, opening your heart within a safe space that you are aligned to your highest good and that which is optimal for you at this. All right. Really beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. So please give me some feedback in the chat since I can't hear you on this. And thank you, Pat. That was really friggin' awesome. I was like, oh, started to become overcome with this desire to go to Egypt again. Okay, Sandra, and I wrote your last name down, Kamagawa. I messed it all up. So Sandra K. Hi. Kamagawa. There we go. Okay. Hi, Mark-Ann and Anne and Pam and Empowered Living. So fun to see everybody. Hey, Ocean Goddess. Okay. Sandra. Ow. Thank you, Pat. I got to clear a few other things. I am. I understand. My team is telling me that I need to do a little bit more cleansing. I was still connected to Pat and her reading, and I was unhooking it, feeling kind of like, okay, if I have to. And they're like, you see, you're emotionally attached. I love Egypt. I love the Sphinx. I love Sekhmet. I love all of that kind of stuff, and interpreting and receiving information and guidance. So wonderful. Yeah, that's good. Do that. Okay, Sandra, now we can have a clear and open connection. White, yes. There's a white stone. I believe it's quartz, but like the kind that's used for kitchen counters now. It's opaque white and it's all around us. Quartz is one of the most powerful communicators. It can take on and communicate. It's why it's been used in computers and different things. And this is rounding us in like almost an egg shape. Right, you're in an egg. You have wings. You're a baby bird, and you're against, almost like you're against my chest, but you're just laying against a loving heart, but you're still in the egg, and your eyes are closed, and you're just all pulled in, and yet your wings are ready to move. They were moving before, and then you pull them back and say, no, I want to stay here. I want to stay here where it's safe against this beautiful, loving, safe place. I don't want to see. I don't want to think. I don't want to be the one to decide. I don't want to fail. I don't want to fall. I don't want to go out. It's like so comfortable here, so loving here. I just want to stay. Ah. So this all I'm being shown, and uh, you're 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 like a baby bird, but you have feathers. You don't even have fuzz. Your head doesn't have feathers yet, but your wings do. So it's like you have wings that could fly. You have wings that are developed. They even have full-grown feathers, and yet you haven't allowed your head. You're closing your eyes and just keeping your head connected. You're not allowing this part to grow, to develop, to grow those full-grown feathers, and to head out to fly. And this is where you navigate and you look and you see and you have very sharp image, vision. Um, and so this is where you're meant to focus now, is to recognize you have these full-grown wings. They're ready, and yet you're staying somewhere safe, and you're keeping to someone or something because you want to be next to them. Like, I don't want to be the one to think, and you aren't allowing all of this to develop. So this means your crown, your inner eye, all of those inner parts of you that connect and understand, as well as your mind being able to think and see new thoughts, new places to believe, to change those beliefs that you are ready. You're ready. Beautiful. And you can tune into a piece of quartz like that, this white, solid white kind, sometimes with a little, maybe a little black, but sometimes a little clear. But the quartz that they're using in floors and counters now is very interesting vibrationally. When you bring granite, stone, quartz, any of these things, these are ancient stones. These are parts of Gaia. They hold frequencies, wisdom, knowledge. They've been through a lot to become what they are. They've been through breakdowns and pressure and heat and transformation, and they've been there for millennium, and they've seen and watched the changes. So stone people are very, very wise, and they all have their own unique capabilities like each of us do. Like different trees or different herbs have different healing properties. These do as well. So uh, you can feel that connection even when you go out on your own. You're ready. Thank you. Ooh, we had a fuchsia flush, Sandra, to disconnect. That was fun. Oh, wonderful. All right, I'm going to go right into midnight. Hi, midnight. You just see here. Is it? Here you are. Trying hard to keep believing I would be so grateful. Okay. Trying hard. All right. So at first I want to invite you to stop trying and stop doing anything hard. All right, that is what we've been taught. It's what we all do. It's all what we all did. It's what part of what's breaking down. So you're trying um, hard at anything, you're forcing it. You want to rise up, just accept where you are. Accept I'm forcing it. Accept I'm tired. Accept whatever. Right? Um, you don't have to believe. You can just be willing. Just be willing. Okay? Just be willing. I want you to understand that willingness is an incredibly powerful state. So I'm going to show you my scale. See if I will use Zoom. So I have to green, and there you go. Now I keep talking about the scale because it is one of the most powerful tools I have ever encountered for understanding energy, vibration, states of consciousness, emotion, and how beliefs, uh, decisions, choices, all those kinds of things, how they impact and affect us. They literally keep us in a particular reality. We are not able to change our perspective at all. So you see where willingness is. It's 310. This is designed to look like underwater, shame being the lowest vibration you can be in and still be in a body, alive, quote unquote. It is a very low vibration. You can't do anything when you're carrying a lot of shame around. Your emotional body is humiliated, so how do you go out there and believe? Your mind is miserable, right? You eliminate things. That's just what happens around you. You keep losing things, and you just despise everything, mostly yourself. And so that's how you use the scale. There's a lot of other things you can do with it. However, I want you to look at willingness. It's right below when you pop up above the water and you can breathe again. And that's what acceptance is. Acceptance is a state where your emotional body forgives and your mind becomes harmonious. What does that mean? It means it tunes in to many more of the infinite solutions that are around you, healings, whatever it is you most need. And you naturally transcend, you're lifted up. And your perspective becomes compassionate towards yourself and towards others. However, we can't always get to that state, right? When we're feeling anger or craving, that state of addiction or desire, craving disappointment, enslavement, entrapment, feeling trapped, denying ourselves or creating a situation or a life or a feeling that we're denied, we can't have. That means you're stuck at that state down there at 125. If you're just willing, you can get into optimism and hopeful thoughts, and you can set intentions, and you can get inspired. That's the power of willingness, okay? So instead of trying every time any of us, we're going to make an agreement now and support each other. Say we're trying, we're working hard. If you start thinking or talking about how much you've suffered, how much you've done, how much I've given and sacrificed and I've done this and I've tried to please everybody and everything, as if that was the reason that you should be free to live the life you love and have the soulmate you want and believe that things can get better, that you could be happy, or that you could be free from a abusive relationship, or you could love yourself, or you could not worry about money and therefore find money whenever you need it. So willingness, when we say I'm ready and willing, all you're doing is telling yourself and all the parts of you, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready because I've been trying hard and I'm exhausted and it's not working. So instead of trying hard to believe, trying hard to accept, trying hard to see, trying hard to be, trying hard to get, trying hard to achieve, trying hard to make happen. I am going to be ready and willing. So I want you, Midnight, and anyone else, because this is a powerful healing opportunity for everybody. I'm just willing. You don't have to work on forgiveness. You just need to be willing to relax and trust your inner guidance. Trust yourself. You're already designed this way. You already have the solutions. You have already been through what you're experiencing right now. You've already come out the other side in a million different ways. Which one do you want? Start to let go. Just be willing. And be willing to feel the scared part and the uncertainty of not knowing, well, what do I do if I don't try to believe? Or what do I do when I feel stuck? Or what do I do if I don't know where to go? I need to move and I don't have the money. That doesn't mean anything. What's between you and getting into flow? I'm willing to get into my own flow. I don't know how. Show me. I'm willing. And then you sit, because when you're in willingness, you're just saying, okay, I'm going to stop trying. I want you to do that, Midnight. I want you to just sit. There's a blue glowing light around you. A little cat suit popped on you and then off like a little kitty. And there's this just sitting almost like on a cobblestone street and just dark and night, and there's nobody there, and they're just sort of saying, I'm done. Just sitting down right where you are. And I'm not trying anymore, and I surrender trying to figure it out. And there's some very heavy things on your forehead and on your head and down inside of your head, and like almost like a metal plate here across the front of your forehead. And you're just gonna sit while your beautiful, loving, intuitive team and your higher self and your body intelligence and your I am presence and your guardian angels and every part of you that's optimal for your highest good is just coming, and they're just saying, just rest, dear one, and we're going to take this away. It's almost like a puppet that just collapsed, and there's no life force in those limbs because of the trying to be something you're not. So this is the moment of surrender and let it go, and just be willing to let it go. And as you melt into willingness and surrender to your inner wisdom, very loving presence is here. Realize them, acknowledge them, accept them, willing to believe they're there without having to believe. Just accept. Whatever way they're coming, whatever way they're moving through. So here is the place and the space that you give up. You're going to give up trying. You're going to give up being a puppet. You're going to give up being moved by everything, everyone, past, present, future around you and within you. And you're just resting and allowing. And you can rest for 2 to 3 days. Be by yourself, be somewhere nurturing and nourishing, be somewhere soft. Read a book in bed, or listen to music, or just curl up into the soft space. Don't see or watch anything violent or loud. Postpone anything that is antagonistic, conflict oriented for you. This is, again, something that needs to happen. What is going on right now? 11th. I don't know. There's a massive breakdown happening right now, and big, you guys are going through big shifts right now. So you need to respect it and nurture yourself. Like one time a client called me and told me, you got to get in bed as if you just had surgery. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Now I had had a big accident the day before, but I was feeling fine. But within an hour of her call, the concussion hit me and I lost my vision and everything. I just threw up in bed for 3 days and I couldn't see or anything. It was physically quite horrible, but I was in bliss the whole time because it was an upgrade and I knew it. So I just kept saying, thank you, accepting, releasing. So you guys don't have to have that happen. Um, uh, this is just respecting this. And you don't have to carry everything anymore. You don't have to do, trying is force. Willingness is a power state. It isn't acceptance yet, but everything from courage up is a power state, meaning the energies are empowering you. They are uplifting you. They are attempting to guide you, to raise you into these different states. So this is a letting go of literally the paradigm of how you see yourself and what you're doing. And like the metamorphosis, but this is more like a puppet, just a wooden puppet just collapsing and the pieces being taken out, and there's a rebuilding. And you're going to just be you and see what the day brings, because it's more important to feel willing, courage, feasible, possible, release, empowerment, something, than how you've been. No more trying. Accept, receive, be willing. You are loved, so layers and layers of beings, angelic realms of rainbows. This is what's all around you. So you can trust this and relax it, right? Sending you beauty and love, surrounding you and everyone else I've done a reading for with a harmonized power program. All on the full color spectrum. Around midnight, Pat and Sandra and Marnie, and all who are here listening at any time, this moment or any other, gently bringing soothing, healing, and harmony to our minds, hearts, bodies, aligning that willingness. Oh, blessings, dear one. All right. Let's go. Yeah. Ooh, you guys are all going through some really big stuff. And so Pat, um, I just saw you. So vivid and insightful. Good. Been working on so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, you're very welcome, sweetie. I saw that. Um, is Marnie here? Yummy, yummy, yummy. Margan said these images showing up benefit all of us. They do, right? Uh, feeding on bird seeds in a community of more pigeons. I love it. Sandra said, lovely reading. Thank you so much. I'm super grateful and happy to know that I'm ready. I will keep on working on the fear that is holding me back. Lots of love. Don't work on it. Accept it. Okay? Don't work on it. Accept it. Don't work on it. Accept it. I'm going to put that. Work on it. Accept it. As soon as you accept it, it has to move, right? It has to harmonize. All right. Good. Whack. All right. So, see Tara. Tara. Just some curly. She says, I have a question about the scale. I keep getting that I'm 600 above, but then I'm feeling that vibe. But other parts of me is shifting this old trauma of loss and scarcity. Excellent question. So you can have parts of you in different parts of the scale, and all the parts of you then make up one final frequency. So we all know that we shift. We can go from being completely consumed by fear or lack of self-worth to gaining a little bit of self-worth. So let's say we are 100% completely full of fear and lack of self-worth. And then we do some different things, we have some experiences, and we start to believe, we start to gain a little bit, and we have 10% belief and 90% not, right? The negative. Okay, so those two together, our overall frequency is going to go up, but it's still in the same soup, right? We're all one big giant soup. And so you can feel like, okay, I'm at 600. In that moment, your overall frequency or what's at 600 for you. And 600 is like peace or something, right? It's like way up there, really beautiful. And it's this idea of not being attached to, oh, I'm so good, I'm always at a high state. Oh no, I'm down at a low state. That automatically is judgment and puts us down the scale. So we can't judge where it is. We can't decide what it means. We just have to use it as information. So what that's telling you, look at 600 and look at, well, what is 600? What does that mean? What does it mean to me? Am I feeling bliss in my emotional body? Or is it time for me to notice where I'm not feeling bliss in my emotional body? Where are you feeling attuned to peace? There's some places within you that are feeling peaceful. However, maybe in your mind, you aren't completely in serenity. You're still thinking too much. So all of you has not entered the state of 600. Some parts of you might be even higher, right? You might be really in gratitude, and some parts of you might be down and just like, ugh, you know, I got to do this and I got to do that. And it's nothing really, really yicky, but it's down there with kind of like, ew. Low level anger is like, you know, resistance to somebody or whatever. So all of these come together to create your frequency and who you are, what you're being in this moment. And then you can look at that and say, how would it feel if I was to embody emotionally bliss? I called my company and my retreats Bliss Life for a long time. We've just recently changed those companies. We've closed them and we've started new. And there were certain reasons energetically for it. But interestingly enough, there was not a lot, there were a few clients that came through that said it pissed them off because they didn't know what bliss was. They didn't know idea how to even be happy. They never had. They couldn't be happy with who they were. And being in bliss just felt like this unreasonable, ridiculous thing way out there that they couldn't access. And I found that very interesting feedback because it's true. We have these parts that we want it, and maybe we touch it, or maybe we're tasting 20% of it, but we're not really sinking in. We're not really absorbing it and bringing it in. So take a look wherever you are. It's telling you something. Then if you feel like you're still struggling and what did you say? Old trauma, loss, and security. So old trauma, loss, and security, well, that's going to be some low vibrations, right? Probably Guilt, blame of self and others is a big one, right? So that's the second lowest frequency. Loss is that hopeless despair kind of feeling, feeling victim, feeling like there's nothing I can do. If you feel like I don't have any choices, you're enslaved. That's the level of 125. If you're feeling blame of others, or you're feeling like a victim or helpless or hopeless, you're down at 50 or 30, or a combination. Maybe there's a little bit of the shame and misery thrown in there. So you're going to find different things on different levels. And then you can accept those. So I accept that I judge myself all the time. And I accept that I let other people's opinions of me bother me. And I accept that this loss and trauma that I've experienced is so deep and so painful that I don't know how to rise above it. And I can ignore it sometimes, or I can pretend it's not there, or I can learn tools to raise my vibration for a moment, but I always come back to it. My client, one of my clients this week, that was what came to the surface after other work of opening. What came up was heartbreak, and it came through a situation which was kind of surprising to feel heartbreak, but the intensity of the heartbreak she was feeling was from many, many, many layers, many lives, many parts of her that had held on to that heartbreak, that loss, that deep, deep inner heart pain. And she had released enough of her other beliefs and patterns that this was able to come through really strong. It was like a gash across the heart and just came out at her. And that turned out to be the portal through which we went in and discovered these layers of the heartbreak that she was holding on to, and that those had to be excavated. And then I saw her and unzipped her out of a body bag. So, and then she rose up out of that and was able to was really taken, quantum leaped to a higher level of consciousness. So the breakdowns are the path to higher states, because the old has to change, it has to compost, it has to break down, you have to stop carrying it, you have to stop living in it, you have to stop thinking from it, right? So it's beautiful to be in peace while you're processing and completing the trauma and the loss, because that's the number one thing I strived for when I was going through my divorce, my daughter dying. Primarily is when I discovered Louise Hay, and I used to just say peace, peace, peace. I just wanted inner peace. The grief and the pain and the heartbreak and the loss was beyond anything I had experienced or could imagine. And when you go through something like this, you have the tools to support you through it, and you can access that peace. And when you start bringing peace and serenity and illumination and sensing that you're that all-beingness, that's peace, that's that level that you said you were at. When you bring that and wrap it around the loss and the trauma, it's going to lift it up and soothingly allow you to release it. Then you're going to claim strength. Because the deeper you love, the deeper you grieve. The further you go on the scale one way, the further you're able to go on the scale the other way. And you're going to be able to ride the scale. You're going to have a trauma, you're going to react, you're going to feel it, you're going to touch bottom, and you're going to come back up. And you're going to go, oh, wow, that was interesting. So, Sitara, I've been in acceptance of whatever's arising, but I don't know whether I should continue to ask for help from the universe or just stop asking. Okay, so this is a great question, because we're all go through this, right? We're all like, I don't know, am I really going to get guidance? And then like, I'm ready for guidance, but I don't know if I'm getting guidance, and and I'm asking for guidance. So this is where you have to find your own flow. All right, you want to make sure that you are asking and you are communicating clearly, and you are opening it to this or something better, this or something better. And then you have to let go and surrender and let your higher self and what's optimal for you, all the information that is known within your blueprint and all the layers of your light body that you can't access from your conscious mind, you trust that those parts of you are going to do that. And so for you, it is a little bit of a stop asking, because again, when we say, I want this and I'd like that, and you get really detailed about it, it's nice for you to acknowledge, what might I like this to be like? How would I like to feel when I wake up in the morning? How do I want to feel about money? How do I want to feel about worry or fear of what's next or what's going to happen, or am I going to have enough of this or that, or what do I do, or where do I get a job, or anything, whatever is on the mind, anyone, okay? You want to come into this present moment and be as powerfully present to receiving as possible. And so there's a time for filling out the form. The waitress comes over at the restaurant, you decide what you want, you tell her, and maybe you say, I don't want the pickles, and put the sauce on the side, and I'd like a salad instead of fries, and I'd like water without ice, and I want limes. You can be that detailed about your life. Then you let go. You don't follow the waitress into the kitchen and watch everything they're doing. You sit down and you relax. You trust that it's coming. So for you right now, it's time to relax. And in the relaxing, you're going to realize that there's places to release. There's places to release this kind of grabbing energy, right? There's something just underneath the surface. It's right underneath the accepting. You're conscious of accepting, and you're saying accepting, but it's like things are coming up and they're hitting. It looks like a blow up raft that you would float in a pool on, like as if it was right under the surface of the water. And as things are rising, they're hitting this plastic, and they're bubbling out, and they're going out around. So there's something, a barrier that you're holding right here. And you're standing right there at the threshold of that acceptance. But there's not full willingness. So like I talked about earlier, being in that willingness. Letting go, really allowing the letting go. Anything that still attaches you to trauma or loss, anything that still attaches you to feeling hurt, betrayed, feeling wrong, feeling like something didn't happen correctly, those are the primary areas you want to unhook from. And you may or may not know what the thought, belief person is, but you can still release it. So we're just unhooking and weaving energies out of your solar plexus. This is your emotional portal for a lot of these hooks. All right, and just allow yourself to unhook from that, and then you'll genuinely be able to enter. But being where you are, part of you is there and part of you is still underwater, right? Sort of like part of you is down here, and you're torn on, how do I move forward? And what you have to do is bring all of you together, like just be in acceptance of, hey, I'm here, this is cool. I can be the guide for those parts of me that are still stuck down there in trauma. And I am guided, I am lifted, I am already in this state of upliftment. And I am tap into inspiration, use your intention. You are allowed to use your intention. Don't do it by asking, do it by sharing. Say, I'm so ready to really enter this peace and feel the serenity in all areas of my life, and just flow and trust what's unfolding and be in the moment, ready to react. We're definitely having big energetic shifts and breakdowns here. Amazing. Yeah, there's some very strong attachments, still hooks they're showing to these two lower states, shame and guilt, and the other aspects, whatever way that shows up for you. Sometimes the guilt is all about the blame, blaming self, blaming others, blaming uh, situations, blaming your luck, blaming that you're not good enough, whatever it is. So look for those two big hooks, but you're being very supported to unhook from this. This is big stuff, you guys. September in general has been very grounding, very peaceful energies. We're going to move into October, so join the Intuition Awakening class. Yeah. So you could be with us to go through some of a couple of months. Well, really in December too, right? We have this amazing solar eclipse. The last Intuition Accelerator class is going to be gathering is going to be on the solar eclipse in December. So this year is an incredible. This is a threshold, and I was shown this last year. Like we were on the threshold to the decade, and this year we entered the decade. But now we're inside the door on the threshold, and next year, 2022, is a lot of unity, right? 222, a lot of coming together, Trinity and unity of energies. So I really take it seriously in a fun way to prepare myself for whatever is coming, always doing that inner work and growing. All right, thank you. Let's see. Sitara, oh yes, wow, powerful, thank you. Yes, thank goodness, love you. Namaste, honey. So Stacy Finnegan, hi sweetie, she's in our class and she said, I want to learn how to release past lives or even know what they are. And it's interesting, I have 3 or 4 different classes that are bouncing around, talking to me. And I had several clients ask, it's always a relevant question, but the basics is, and that there's just an infinite field of energy, and that's what we might call the void or source, and the field, the infinite field of potential, pure potentiality, the scientists call it the quantum field, and everything comes from that. There isn't anything that isn't made from that. And then out of that, this is like my simple children's story of it, is a blob of energy comes from the infinite field, and that's your soul. And your soul then decides, okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to play? How are we going to play with things? And starts to make a whole bunch of conscious scenarios and starts sending them out into different time-space continuums. So that might be you right now, might be you in a medieval time when you were burned at the stake, or you had your head chopped off, or you were the king. It might be you in ancient times when you were a slave or a slave owner. It might be you during the Renaissance when you were an artist and full of hope. It might have been you in a war. It might have been you as a peasant who rallied all the people to fight against the evil king who was oppressing you, and then everybody died and you died thinking, oh my God, I'm never using my voice again to inspire people because look what happened. I'm responsible for everyone's death. And then what happens is all these lives already exist. So past lives is really not the correct term. Parallel lives, other parts of you. And you're one of those. It doesn't make you less than anything, but it's like you are hooked back to Soul Central. And the reason to become aware of another life is because when you decided to be you, you were like, who else has these fears? Who else has these problems? Who else has these beliefs? And I'm going into a time that there's an accelerated opportunity to transform. So what you do right now in this life affects all of your lives, affects all of your soul, and overall raises the vibration, frees all of you. So if you've had a fear of being good enough your whole life, like I did, if you have a fear of speaking up, like I did, then it's not just you in this life. It's you and several other parts of you that have that for different reasons. So you might experience a past life by seeing or experiencing a memory of another time. In my sessions, like we did, right? You go to places, or you feel like you are another person, or you watch another thing unfold because there's a relevant reason. There you see, oh, so when you understand, my client who was afraid of money, and she went to a life where she didn't believe in past lives either, by the way. She went to a life very vividly where she was wealthy and well educated in medieval times. Her family wanted her land and her money, and so they conspired with the local government, and they threw her in jail, in a horrible medieval jail, for a long time, and then they chopped her head off, and there was no justice, and there's no trial, and there was nothing fair about any of it, and it was a really epically horrible experience. She had this experience so vividly that she knew it was real, and when her experience ended and she told me, she said, I understand exactly how I've felt my whole life. Money equals killing. Why on earth would I want some? Why would I want more of it? Why would I want access to it? That was what was running underneath inside of her, the invisible or subconscious beliefs and patterns and things that you have within your light body. So it created a life of her being wealthy and well educated, but she didn't have an ATM card. She intentionally, subconsciously married a controlling man who managed all the money. She couldn't get a raise, and so on and so forth. So this is what these things do, and that's why it's important to access or free or connect or listen to the other parts of us, because they give us an opportunity to understand deeper why this pattern is there and free both parts of you. So imagine if you freed both of you in this life and you in this life. That would mean that two of, just for ease sake, let's say there's 100 lives in your soul, two of you out of 100, whatever percent that is, okay, 2% or something, right? You has now been freed from the belief that you shouldn't speak up, or money is evil. Money is something to be afraid of. Stay away from it. You'll die. Somebody will do something to you. They'll take it from you. Believe me, almost everybody has some of those money things. I used to do solely work around the money and the belief of the self and the fear of that. And most people have some level of fear that if they're successful with money, they're not worthy. It'll be taken. They'll be attacked, or they won't be good with it or something. So you get the opportunity to change where that life, that energy is vibrating on the scale, went up a few levels. That affects the whole. So the whole soul is here to evolve. And now it's getting very thin, where you can interact with these other parts of you. You might sense or feel them. They might come to you and want to work with you in certain patterns or situations or ways for a little while or for one day. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience to realize you are multidimensional. You don't just have a mind and a body and emotions and all those dimensions, but you have, you're a part of this soul that is a part, has many different experiences and powers. And that's the other thing that's cool, is when you reconnect, you also share wisdom, strength, powers, right? When you go through an experience, you change, you gain a lot of powers, don't you? High Fitness for the Soul, the reading you gave me was seeing me at the Abbey, so I thought I would share. My husband went to an Abbey shortly after your reading. That's wonderful. I love it. Sitara said, I released a past life yesterday with guilt and shame. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, it's so wonderful. It's all making sense. Sitara said, thank you. Is there anything else coming up for me? No, that's it. Okay, let's see. I'm going to do a few more. Gonna see. Debbie Bloomfield. Okay, so there's a conversation. Congratulations, Julie. She gave her notice and will be beginning my Gypsy Fairy Walkabout drive about me about the beginning of next month. Excellent. Julie is a student and a friend who's been with me a long time, a client, and she's gone through massive changes in her life in the last few years with parents and daughters and living spaces and all kinds of amazing things. I'm ready and willing. Love and magic and gratitude. Love you, sweetie. And she's, I kept seeing it's time for her to let go and go wander. And that's true for a lot of people. So, Debbie was recently told that something from 72 lives ago is still running. Well, it wouldn't shock me. I don't know whether it's relevant if it's 72 lives ago, but it helps gives you some context. And yes, we do have these different things that happen because of hooks that we've brought in that tie us with other lives as well. So like I just described. All right, so Debbie. Oh, Bloomfield. Something about your name. So Debbie, I'm being shown to work with the sphere of light that we created in the beginning. So if you missed the beginning, re-listen to it. I guide you through creating a sphere of light yourself and using it to look into or to surround you to bring you guidance. So they're showing this is a very good idea. And you can ask for what is optimal for me at this time, aligned with my highest good. And if there's something that is optimal for me to know about this pattern in this life, 72 lives ago, that is running, that I need to know, release, reveal, renew, I'm ready and willing at this time. You're holding a bomb, like a, maybe it's not a bomb, like a big torpedo, maybe, like type thing. You're holding it, and all I see is your hands. It's a big metal capsule. I think it would be like a torpedo shape, so like you would put into a gun in a ship to be sent out. So all I know is that you're walking very, very gently with this, and it's. No, all I see is you holding it and this care that you're doing, but you're still carrying it. So you don't need to carry it anymore. It needs to be, you need to decide what you're going to do with it. So in essence, energetically, it's showing that you are carrying something, a bomb, basically, something that can blow up, that can destroy, that can kill, and you're not certain what to do with it, and you're not certain what you want to do with it. And so this is what is operating. There's things going on in your life where you're not sure what to do, and so you're just holding. You're just in a holding pattern. You're just staying in the same place or walking in circles and just holding on to something and not making a decision. And it's something that you feel might blow up, might upset, might hurt. It's something that you are afraid of, the pain of it, the power of it. Yet it is something you're holding, and it must be It must be, the choice must be made. It's within you. You must make a choice on what to do with something that's full of power. And it doesn't mean it isn't about holding your power and not using it. Okay, it is. Um, and it also has layers of being afraid that if you use your power, it is going to hurt other people. And so you're in a quandary, and it's just an underlying pattern that's throughout everything in your life. And this is coming to the surface, so you're going to need to look at it. You don't need to know what it is, but you probably do, and you might, and there's more layers to it than you see right now. Right. Yeah, I love looking on here and see all these little flowers and happy faces and little gratitude hands, and it's just wonderful. Um, all right, Josie Edwards. It's my first time catching you at the beginning. I'm always later working. Yay, I'm here. Yay. All right, Josie. Yeah, turn off the TV. It's too much, Stacy said. There's nothing there for you. There's nothing out there. And constant streaming opinions of a million different people talking about something they don't have full understanding of, and just trying to shout their opinion at you. You need to be in your own space and create beauty and music and chants and inner opportunities to hear your guidance. It's intensifying, right? More ways to be in your face, and yet it's more and more important that we're not. Everything in my life is very carefully designed to not be in that space at all, to not be attached. I rarely watch TV. If I watch anything, it's a movie or a show that I specifically know about. We do watch YouTube, but specific channels like Fluffy Puppies and Otters. And beautiful music with scenes of nature. And you're feeding yourself. You're an energetic being. You're feeding yourself. You're feeding your mind. You're feeding your eyes. You're feeding your thoughts. You're feeding your heart. You're feeding your chakras. You're feeding your liver. You're feeding your belief system. You're feeding your emotional field with everything that comes in. So choose, take your power back and choose. I'm not going to do that. I know people who live with family who have the TV on or the news on 24/7. And you have to leave, or you have to create a place for yourself where you're not around that, or you have to agree to share the space. But again, a lot of people don't want to upset other people, or there's a sense of judgment in it, where all you want to do is just be like, I need to have what's optimal for me. Oh, okay. All right, so Josie, we're going to go into you in a second. I'm being inspired to share this story. I've shared it many times, but it's been a while. So if you're familiar with Abraham Hicks, Esther's husband, who's passed out of his body a few years now, Jerry, he was, we knew Esther's daughter, and we used to do an Abraham Hicks study group with her. And so we heard stories of the family. And she said that Jerry was extremely unusual because he was 100% committed to his energy and was not willing to compromise his energy for anyone. But he didn't argue with anybody. He didn't tell somebody, you have to stop doing that, stop saying that, stop believing that, stop watching that. He would just remove himself from the room or the situation. He wouldn't even talk about it, so it was a little awkward socially. However, I really respect this. So what he did was he said, I have, the story she told us was Thanksgiving dinner. And it's not uncommon to have a lot of family over a big long table and a lot of drama going on in families, right? Grandmother said this again, it pissed me off. Mom did this, blah, 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 all this stuff going. So whatever was happening, he just stood up, got out of his chair, quietly pushed it back in and left the room. He didn't say, let's change the topic. Don't talk about that. You're upsetting me. I don't want to talk about this. He didn't even say, I'm leaving the room. he just got up and left. And she was a young girl who was, like, wow, that was awkward and weird. What's going on? And then, of course, she grew up with them and started to understand energy and started to understand that to him, it wasn't worth it, even to be polite. And he knew you don't argue with people, you don't try to change them, although you can stand up and say, I live in this house too, and the TV can't be on 24/7, right? Or whatever it is. However, it's your responsibility to remove yourself or to not put yourself in the path of certain energies. Don't feed it and don't believe that you can just tolerate it and it's not affecting you. It is affecting you. Okay? So I would say, what would Jerry do? All right. Josie, 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 Josie. So I'm creating a communication corridor with you, Josie, is something that I teach you in the Intuition Awakening class. Again, remember, it's open and it's on sale till the 16th. But after that, nobody else can join this year. So you're hidden. Okay? You're hiding. Um, you're creating a lot of. You're just hiding, and you're really good at it. There's movement in the dark, but it's like you're hiding behind different things and peeking out from behind and then moving to another place and looking. And you're shrouded in darkness, and it's cover for staying hidden, being secret, not letting people know who you are, not letting people see you for who you truly are, and not seeing yourself. So both of these things are going on for you right now, Josie, and yet there's a part of you that's moving and looking but staying in this dark. So there's movement, and it seems to be raising, like you're getting ready, like there's a sense of the energy's coming up. It's not comfortable to stay in this space anymore, to stay hidden here and to hide from yourself and to hide things and to stay out of sight and out of harm's way. These are the words that are coming. And out of the radar, and out of the line of sight. So almost like you're being hunted, you're being watched, you're being tracked. It's not a terror feeling, but it's not a good feeling. Some of the images coming in and out are like being in a prisoner war of camp type thing, and like trying to escape or hiding from something or someone that's hunting you down. Being afraid to be you. Is that real? Is that, yes, okay. Being afraid to be you because it's dangerous to be you. It's not safe to be you. Don't let anyone see you or know what you are. If they see you, they might know what you are. And so you need to stay hidden. I keep seeing or hearing Anne Frank, who was hidden from the Nazis and then was finally captured, and she lived a good part of her last part of her life having to live behind the walls in someone else's house and stay hidden and not be seen, not be, because it was truly dangerous. If someone knew who she was, what she couldn't change being her religion, her race. So therefore, who she was within her naturally, there was no way to change that. So who she was dangerous to be at the time. And it was dangerous to be seen or to be heard. And this is a very similar energy. There's a sense that it is dangerous to be me at that level of being unsafe, and something bad will happen. You have been navigating through the dark. So what I'm being shown is this S shape through this. I'm seeing from above this room that has all these barriers and things in it, and you've made your way through it like an S or a curve. I'm having to release a lot of energy. Oh. All right, so the need to speak, the desire to speak, this sense of having to for so long suppress the voice, the expression, to be free, to go. There's a sense of I don't care anymore. I'm not willing to wait, but not knowing any different than living like this. So this is what you're moving through, and you have more support than you realize. So start to go within the eye, within the heart. They're saying go to the eye within the heart. This is the guide to guide you through what you perceive as dangerous and to help you release yourself, to exit this this reality, this fear, this sensation of being dangerous to be me, and I must stay hidden. The overwhelming desire that's rising within and gets suppressed and rises and gets suppressed is that inspiration, is that desire to express to yourself, to be who I am and to say what I want and to understand who I really am. And the layer of oppression, suppression, of heaviness, it's like it's thinning in the middle and it's thick on the sides. So as you move, just keep going and trusting, realigning to the guidance that's like a pulse, just a faint sense. And no matter how it feels, there is that pulse and you find it. So this is going to be, once you emerge, a very big difference. So you are, it is important to rest, to nurture, to gain strength as you complete this, as you come out of this, as you take that courage to rise into moving out of these patterns and freeing yourself. And so you look for the places where it's less pressure, and be ready, because the shift is going to be enormous. It'd be like coming out of living in a cave your whole life and suddenly you're in the blinding sun and you literally can't see, and it's painful. So this is a time to support the part of you that is willing to make its way out of this fear, and to love and accept the part of you, the parts of you. These are at least 3 lives, and the one really major one that's very strong, like it's over here on your right, holding this like, it's like a giant nail or something, fear It's just holding it so strong. Blind fear of protection kind of thing. And these are all going to be releasing. So as you come together, make sure that you say you're ready and willing to access the wisdom and strength of these other parts of you and those guides that are here for you at this time. Affirm that, yes, although I have carried this and lived with this, I'm ready to emerge from this fear and accept myself and feel safe to be me. And I'm ready to move towards it in the optimal way, in the optimal path, in the optimal opening, letting it unfold, unfold, unfold. This is a very heavy thing that you've been carrying for a long time, and parts of it you don't even know are there that are that heavy, that have kept you from fully accepting yourself and fully feeling safe to be who you are. And this is that transition, but it's in a precarious place because it still feels dangerous in this inner part to reveal yourself or to accept yourself. So be very gentle and loving. There's some butterfly energy, like big butterfly wings. They look like a monarch, but it's more pink than orange. And it's filtering the sun, like looking up through the butterfly and the sun coming through the wings. So there is this sun, almost like a stained glass window, through those parts of the wing. That's there, holding a light for you. And the butterfly, of course, this is where you're going, okay? Let go of all what was, form into something new that can handle the new reality, the full expression, the joy. It's moving in a beautiful way, beautiful place, but this is a heavy place to be. So acknowledge that, accept it without feeling burdened by it, because you are in movement. And it's quickened since we started talking. There's a quickening to the inner energy that's stirring, that life force that's coming up. So again, we bring in a harmonized power program around Josie to help her to integrate this for as long as is optimal at this time. Beautiful. So everyone come back in, close your eyes, and sense, feel, look at this sphere of light that you manifested. Is it still in front of you like this? Is it around you? Is it within you? And take a moment to receive in this sacred space, connected to your highest good, what is optimal at this time for you to receive. Give great thanks. We give great thanks for this sacred space, for this beautiful communication, the guides, for all these amazing beings and all of us going through this incredible evolutionary acceleration. We are grateful and ready and willing to step into being who we are designed to be, to align with our highest good, trust the guidance, support, strength, and wisdom, to move in our path, present and reverent in this moment. Thank you for this time. Thank you for this space. Thank you for this guidance and this. Now draw your sphere of light into your heart. Let it anchor there. May this circle be open yet unbroken. And this beautiful communication, freedom, love, and transformation go with us as is optimal in our minds, hearts, bodies. With every breath and every step, we give thanks and love and enter a world of full expression, creativity, love, transcendence, and harmony. And so it is. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. It was wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. I just want to check and see if anyone else gave feedback. Thank you, everybody. I know there were so many people I didn't get to. You being here, you probably received something. I know that's always the case. And I hope you receive it graciously and gratefully and move through your day with that sense of peace and expectation. Debbie, we did that. This is fascinating. I know, isn't it? Um, April said, thank you, Nan. This is also insightful. Thank you. I'm glad. Yes, it's really important to not get attached to whether you specifically got a reading, but to be in the flow. You're here in this moment for something. There's something here for you, maybe multiple things. Sometimes people's readings stay with me very powerfully. So I unhook and disconnect and cleanse and clear, and I release the chamber and I release the energies so that I'm not attached to anybody else's energies. However, that which is optimal for me stays with me. Okay, Debbie said, do you see my post? And just, I see it. Okay. My goodness, that's something so grateful. Thank you. You're welcome, Debbie. I see a tortoise for Josie. How wonderful. Josie, I'm trying to stop crying so I can give feedback. I'm so grateful for your guidance. Welcome, sweetie. Pat, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful gift. So much appreciation. Thank you, everybody. I love you all so much. I'm going to send you all a big hug. Lovely. Thank you for blessing me and being in my reality. And thank you for being you. So have a beautiful day, everybody. Namaste.